The algorithms for all the stuff that we consume these days, they're all engineered for like a confirmation bias. It's a feedback loop. It's going to keep you and enhance whatever you believe in. It's going to make you interact in any way that it can. That's all that matters. They care about your eyeballs. They don't care about what you believe. They don't care about whether or not you're growing as a human being or if it's improving your life. All they care about is that you pay attention. So stop paying attention to the garbage. It's a joke. Don't do it. Instead, all right, welcome back to the Monster Mindset, guys. Appreciate you being here. Real quick, do me a favor and do that whole like and subscribe thing. I'd sure appreciate that if you could share us out there and help get the word out. Today is not about like specific actionable tools in the area of like what exactly are you doing in your business. It's more about your mindset and how to control it. And I think really I learned this term a long time ago, clear back when I was in like 8th grade. I was like in one of the first computer classes that was ever offered in a school, I think, and we were learning to program DOS. And for any of you programmers out there, and hey, I'm not a software engineer, so don't get me wrong. I just happened to land in a class at a very young age. But there was a term I learned, and it was GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. And I've tried to like keep that in my brain for my whole life because I think it applies to everything in your life and how you're leading your life. You got to be aware of the crap that you're feeding yourself, and you got to overwhelm the negative stuff with positive stuff. And so today is about mindset. It's just about like, how do you control that mindset? Well, you control it with your inputs. You know, there's different things that I've done at different times, but you know, as far as like stuff that's coming in, you need to have like a really clear reading habit. You need to have, you need to be feeding your brain the stuff that you need to learn, the stuff that you need to grow, the stuff that's going to challenge you. In the last 2 years, I've read approximately like 80 self-improvement, leadership, business development type books. And I consume 95% of those on Audible. It's a great resource for me. I get the majority of it done just on my way to and from work every day. If I make a habit out of not having garbage come in all the time, listening to some nasty ass rap song, instead I'm listening to something that's going to build me up, then I don't have garbage coming in. I have good things coming in. So instead of having garbage in, garbage out, I've got winning in, winning out. And that's where I want to be. 25 years ago, I was sitting down watching the news one day and I realized, this stuff it's engineered for attention. And, I'd hear about the plane wrecks and the murders and all the negative and crappy things were going on in life everywhere around me, in the town I'm in the nation, in the world. And I just realized like, I'm not seeing any of this in my real life. So why do I care? Why am I paying attention to this garbage? Because all it's doing is weighing me down. So like 25 years ago, I just shut off watching the news and following the news. I stay a little bit current on some of the things that are going on some different social media sites, just so I can kind of have an idea what's going on in the world. But I make sure not to consume my brain with it. The algorithms for all the stuff that we consume these days, they're all engineered for like a confirmation bias. It's a feedback loop. It's going to keep you and enhance whatever you believe in. It's going to make you interact in any way that it can. That's all that matters. They care about your eyeballs. They don't care about what you believe. They don't care about whether or not you're growing as a human being or if it's improving your life. All they care about is that you pay attention. So stop paying attention to the garbage. It's a joke. Don't do it. Instead, figure out what it is that's going to give you something to work with. I do a thing where I actually subscribe to some unrelated magazines because I want to make like associations. So I subscribe to Popular Science and I subscribe to Popular Mechanics because I want to see what's happening in the developing world. And then I subscribe to channels on different social media that are about like AI and advancement. And I subscribe to channels that are about growth and enhancing your business. And I'm forcing myself to not have garbage in, garbage out. I'm having winning in, winning out instead. And you need to follow that as a part of your life. If you're having a hard time doing it, you need to do an audit. And I think this is the first challenge that I'm going to throw out there for this episode today, which is audit your life and understand, where are you spending your time? Are you spending your time consuming social media that is only going to keep you in that confirmation bias, or compare you to people who seem to be winning so huge in life, but really you're only seeing a tiny slice of their life, and you don't see all the struggles that they go through, and you don't see what they have to do to win, and you don't see how they're getting there. All you see is like this image that they want you to see, which is going to make you feel worse about yourself, because you're not getting as much done as you should be getting done, is the perception you're going to have, when in fact you might be winning on every front. And especially you'll be winning on every front if you don't compare yourself to all these other people who are living these fantastic lives, or you compare yourself to somebody that's 25 years more along the path of success than you are. Interesting statistic is, like, the average millionaire who started his own business is in his 40s. I don't remember the exact age. It's like 42 or 44 or 45, something like that. You can look it up, but the average millionaire needs all of that experience and all that struggle and all that time where they've changed the algorithm for themselves of being like, instead of garbage in, garbage out, I'm going to consume the winning. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. And if you'll do that, then you're going to start to develop that winning mindset. So that by the time you get into your mid or late 30s or early 40s, you're actually in a place where you've gained enough experience. You've cultivated the input that you want, so that you can have that winning coming in and winning going out. Challenge number 2 of the day. If I find that I wake up in the morning, and for a while I did this every single day, I don't need to do it every day now, but for quite a while, every single day when I would wake up, before I would even roll over to get out of bed, I would stop right then. And I would do like a little self-analysis. How do I feel today? Where's my energy at? What's my win for the day? And I would look up at the ceiling, and I would just say, okay, to start my day off in the right mindset, I need to do my I'm thankfuls. And what is an I'm thankful? Well, I just would sit there and I would list off 20 things that I am thankful for in my life. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I have. I'm thankful for the business. I'm thankful for the leaders. I'm thankful for our customers. I'm thankful for, just the fact that I live in the United States and I have, the ability to do the things that I do. And I just keep going about the things I've learned and the things I'm thankful for to set my mindset for the day. So the 2 challenges so far: audit your life. What is the garbage that's coming in, and can you get rid of it? And number 2, audit your mindset. Can you set your mindset for the day from the moment you wake up? Because here's the repercussions of that. If you wake up in the morning, you've turned off the garbage and you've got thankfulness in your mind, now you're ready to go out and tackle the day. It's freaking awesome, because when you're ready to go out and tackle the day, you've got energy, you're thankful for the things that are happening. Now there's nothing that's going to stop you. You're eliminating that wall of negativity. You're eliminating that fear, and you're filling it in place with optimism. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a salesperson or whatever it is that you're doing, you've got to go approach the day with optimism. Even if you're just going to grow in a career, no matter what role you're in, if you face the day with optimism, if you have high expectations of others and people sense that you have high expectations, the world's going to bring you those high expectations. The world will win with you. Remember what I said about the social media is an algorithm for your attention? Well, if your attention's on winning, not only will the algorithms feed you winning, but the people around you will feed you winning. And so it becomes a self-fulfilling loop here. You cultivate what you want, you cultivate the mindset and the attitude that you want, and the next thing you know, the world's bringing this to you. Have you done the audit though? Do you understand how much time you're spending scrolling and looking through social media and comparing yourself to other people and feeling like you're not winning? And have you cultivated the habit of self-improvement through your exercise, through your reading, through your association? That's another thing that you could throw in on these, the challenges. Maybe the 3rd challenge would be, who are your mentors? Find somebody that you want to mentor you, somebody who's further down the path of success or at least equal to you and ready to challenge your mindset about how you're thinking about things and is ready to help you grow and like give you like the feedback that you need in order to like take the next steps in your life. If you're surrounding yourself with those kinds of people and you've got the positive mindset in the morning and you've eliminated the garbage, you're definitely well on the path to winning at this point. So, these are the beginnings of a monster mindset. Become intentional about being informed, kind of going back to the whole thing with popular science and popular mechanics. When you pair that with the expertise in the field that you're in, and you pair that with growing in business and your mindset with like the stuff you're reading and how to win in business, when all those things come together, it creates this thing in your brain where it's like you start pulling pieces out of different things and suddenly like things work together. And that goes back into that the world's going to feed you what you feed it, right? Or what you allow it to feed you. And so put yourself in that place where you're on this winning path and you're not trying to live by somebody else's highlight reels. You're not trying to worry about everywhere you go because somebody got killed there. You're going to look at it from the perspective of like, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to win. And that's all there is to it. All right, so there was 3 steps already, right? So step number 4, set your goal for the day. You need to be intentional about the one thing that's going to move the needle for the day. There should be something, and if you can't identify it, then you haven't eliminated enough of the garbage. If you're just going and reacting to your life, then you gotta go back through steps 1 through 3. Know what you're thankful for, eliminate the garbage. Make sure you have the intentionality about the world is like going to feed you what you want it to feed you. So you eliminated all the crap, but now you're going to be able to set a goal for the day. Not a list of like 20 or 25 things that you need to do. What is the main objective? If you're in sales, like all the follow through stuff is going to happen. You don't need to set a goal around that. What you need to set a goal around if you're in sales is my goal for the day is to make sure I have 4 opportunities to present to a customer, or 3 or 10, whatever it is for the industry that you're in. If you're in leadership, maybe there's some key strategic decisions that you need to make. If you're in high-level leadership, if you're like in a mid-level leadership, maybe it's like, hey, I need to make sure that my team gets highly motivated at my training. My focus needs to be on that first, and that's like my number one goal is that my team has high accountability and high motivation. And so analyze where you're at. Like I said early on, like if you're starting a business or you're working in a career, the goal for the day is going to be really actionable. It's like, how many opportunities do I have to prove myself, to like advance my sales or advance in my career with my expertise. If you're in mid-level, it's going to be like, how do I get my team to do that, right? And that's going to be one of the main goals that you're going to have on a regular basis. And if you're at a high level of leadership and you've grown a company, you're starting to really grow a company, then it's going to be like strategic. What are the strategic decisions that I need to make, and how do I make sure that those get nailed down and put in place? If you can work on that, like having that goal for the day and understanding what is your objective for the day, and then being very intentional about completing that objective for the day, that right there will change your life. No more garbage in, garbage out. Be thankful for the life that you had. Control what's coming in. Set a goal for the day and then act on that every single day. And it's not going to be the same goal every day. Probably if it was one clear goal, it shouldn't last more than 1 or 2, maybe 3 days at most, because you're like really focused on something. Most of the time you should be able to knock out a goal for the day that day. And then you're moving on to the next one. And after like a few years of doing that, man, your life changes. Like you go from like my story where you're living in your best friend's basement, broke, depressed, to like you've built a company 11 years later that's doing $50 million in business and you have 200 employees. That's insane. But it all happened one day at a time. And I want to talk about this because I think people like have these ideas that like they're going to have like, oh, this guy had overnight success, or this people like, wow, that's amazing what they did. I had no idea that they were at this level. Like they got so lucky. BS. They didn't get lucky. What they did is they had a thankful mindset in the morning. They had intentionality. They eliminated the garbage. They set a goal for the day, and they did it every day for years on end. That's what's got them there. If you're not ready to do that every day for years on end, then hey, just be willing to embrace the suck, because that's how your life is going to be. It's going to suck. Does that mean there's no challenges as you're growing and as you're making something happen? No, of course there's challenges. There's challenges every day. Some days suck even though you wake up with thankfulness and you wake up with a goal. Some days still suck. So what? Get over it. That was yesterday. Today you got a new opportunity to do something different, to make a difference in your life. That's all there is to it. Be thankful for the opportunity. Go out there and expect the world to bring that opportunity to you, and then go make it happen with intentionality. Then last but not least here, well, maybe it's not last, step number 5, build an input system. Your mindset and what you're feeding it should be like your diet, right? Like if you're paying attention to what you eat and how you're like exercising, this is the exercise for your brain. You're looking at it and saying, what's the garbage? Is it gone? What's the winning? Is it coming in? Through the reading, through the social media, etc. What other garbage is there? There's downtime, there's dead time, there's non-productive time. I often have a hard time, and I know maybe this is a little bit work addiction, workaholic type of thing, but I often will work until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. But I live alone and I enjoy it. I enjoy building a company. Like I've baked that into my brain that I enjoy doing something and making it grow. And I enjoy the creative side of growing a company. And at times it's been boring as heck, but at times it also like engages my creativity to like the highest degree. And I love that. And so, and when I'm in those modes, man, I'm kind of workaholic because I'm using that dead time to make things happen, to make things grow, to make my life better, to make the lives of everyone around me grow, to make the lives of my employees grow and be better, right? So make sure that your input system is filled up with good things, like no more garbage, you're reading, you've got good social media, you've got peers that you want to be around, you've got friends that you want to be around. You've all heard the thing about like, oh, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And you know what? It's true. Like, don't be the average of those 5 people if they are not the people that you want to be like. If you got a team of people around you, even if they're employees that want to win and they're pushing for the win and they're always growing, and that's going to help you stay pushed, then that's great. You don't have to be sitting in a circle of people who are worth $1 billion each, but you do need to be sitting in a circle of people who are on a growth path, who are thankful for the opportunities, who know what they're doing to like feed in the right information, to move the right direction, and to make their lives better. And hopefully then you can also still at least find one mentor, somebody who is further down the path, who will give you the time to help feed into the things that you need to work on to grow, and can give you good advice that they've learned through life and that maybe you haven't had a chance to live through yet. So yeah, find that circle of people or create it, one or the other. That's extremely important. Next step, protect your habit. This isn't a one-time thing. These are decisions that you need to like audit your life and make the changes for. So my decision to not watch news 25 years ago was a great decision. There's an hour every day where I'm not watching the news, and maybe in the evening find out what's going on in the world, or maybe it's in the morning and you're watching, back in the day it was like Good Morning America or something. I don't care what's going on with all those people. I don't care what's going on with those celebrities. I don't care what they think. Like, oh my God, like the freaking Super Bowl was yesterday, and I didn't watch it because I don't want that garbage in my brain, but I saw enough of the stuff about it to realize that halftime show was a joke. So if you saw it, you probably know what I'm talking about, but good Lord, talk about negative crap going in. Did you watch that? If you did, why? Come on, get control of your brain and what's going in. Like, feed it correctly. It's not going to be healthy if you don't. So make it a habit. Every day I get in the car, my book starts to play automatically because it knows that that's what's going to happen. Like, it's just an automatic thing. I'm listening to a book. I get in the car on the way to work, book is playing. I get in the car on the way home, book is playing. Social media, I'm unfollowing accounts I don't need to be following, and I'm following accounts that I want to be following. So here's the challenge. Audit your inputs. Make sure you know what's coming in, how much time you're spending feeding the crap in, and make sure you eliminate that, and then replace it with stuff that's going to help you win. And make sure you're asking yourself, is this making me better or worse? And if the answer is worse, well, you know what to do. And if nothing else, just pick one thing that you're going to eliminate. Pick one thing that's going to change, and then stick to that. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess, I think is the book. A great book. very smart lady. She studied habits. It takes, I believe, 63 days is what she said in her book in order to create a habit. So this whole habit thing, people used to say, oh, 3 weeks to make a habit. BS. It takes 3 times that long. Make a habit out of one thing and make a habit for 63 days of getting up in the morning and being I'm thankful, or eliminating one social media account you shouldn't be following and adding one that you should, and reading every day. Like, make these things habits. Protect the input so that you get the right output. Be thankful in the morning. Call somebody each day that like has a positive impact on your life that you can talk to. And 30 days from now, you're going to feel like a whole different person. These are life-changing things. So get it right. Exercise your mind in the way that you want to exercise your mind. If you do that right, that's going to lead to winning. So no more garbage in, winning out. That's the monster mindset.